Before the dawn of the Great Rebellion, when the celestial realms were still in harmonious accord, there existed among the divine watchers a select group who remained resolutely loyal to their sacred mandate. These emissaries of the Almighty, Ariel, Raphael, Raguel, Michael, Sariel, Gabriel, and the wise cherub Ramel, were entrusted with the solemn duty of overseeing the earth and its inhabitants. They frequently descended from the heavenly heights to walk among humanity, ensuring that the will of the Most High was carried out with meticulous care and divine purpose. In those early days, all watchers functioned as one unified brotherhood, sharing in both the joy and responsibility of their celestial charge. Even as figures like Azel, Samuel, and many others journeyed among mortals, absorbing wisdom and observing human life, the seeds of divergence were already being sown. Not every angel held fast to their ordained purpose. Within the vast company of the Watchers, a rebellious faction was quietly beginning to emerge. Led by the influential Samuel and his cohort Azel, a dangerous desire took root among some of the angels, a yearning for that which was expressly forbidden. Their eyes, once fixed solely on the divine, now wandered to the daughters of man, and with that gaze came an insatiable longing for power that far exceeded the limits set by the Creator. In their hearts, the notion of transcending their celestial bounds took hold, and thus, the Great Rebellion was born. The faithful among the Watchers soon sensed this ominous shift. Whispered rumors of unseemly ambitions began to circulate both in the exalted halls of heaven and upon the earth below. Samuel, who had once been a respected member of the divine assembly, began to articulate these illicit desires openly. With fervor, he and his followers marveled at the beauty of mortal women and nurtured a secret ambition to claim them as their own. Adding fuel to the conflagration, the ambitious Azazel proposed an even bolder scheme: to reveal the hidden knowledge of the heavens to mankind, to forge weapons of immense power, and to teach humanity the forbidden arts that lay beyond mortal comprehension. On a fateful and starless night, Samuel convened a clandestine gathering atop Mount Hermon, a towering, isolated peak that cast its vigilant gaze over the lands of men. There, away from the prying eyes of mortals, 200 angels assembled, their hearts aflame with pride and a forbidden desire for dominion. In that hidden conclave, they solemnly swore an oath to abandon their celestial duty. They pledged to descend to earth, to seize the daughters of men, to impart forbidden wisdom, and ultimately, to establish their own rule over creation. Within this assembly of defiant beings, Samuel addressed his once fellow angels with impassioned rhetoric. For too long have we observed the struggles and splendor of mankind from afar. Why must we remain aloof when we can join their world? Imagine taking wives among them, birthing mighty offspring, and bestowing upon them the sacred secrets of the heavens. Inspired by his words, many among the gathering felt their dormant ambitions surge to the surface. The cunning Azel, recognized for his sharp intellect, boldly added, "Why should we merely join them when we can rule over them? We possess wisdom and power far beyond their grasp. Let us teach them the arts of metalcraft, the strategies of war, and the mysteries of sorcery. We can mold them in our image and ascend to a divine stature among mortals." One by one, seduced by the promise of power and glory, these angels took a terrible oath, fully aware that the consequences of defying the Most High would be severe. Yet, their hearts were hardened by ambition, and the fear of divine retribution was cast aside in favor of their newfound desires. Back in the celestial realms, a group of faithful watchers watched in dismay as their brethren strayed from the path of righteousness. Gabriel, the guardian of paradise and master over the serpents, implored his errant counterparts to reconsider their transgressions. Yet his earnest pleas fell on deaf ears. Sariel, burdened with overseeing the wandering spirits that had already faltered, foresaw impending calamity, but his warnings were lost amid the clamor of rebellion. Raguel, assigned the solemn task of exacting vengeance upon the transgressors, chose silence, confident that divine justice would eventually prevail. Raphael, ever the protector of humanity, warned gravely, "If we overstep the boundaries ordained by the Most High, we invite chaos into the mortal realm. The sacred knowledge of heaven is not meant for human hands. The mighty warrior Michael added with unwavering resolve, "This insidious rebellion will only bring ruin upon us all. The Lord of hosts sees everything, and our misguided desires will lead to our downfall." Finally, Uriel, renowned for his insight into the deepest mysteries, declared, "God's gaze is unyielding. Should we join these renegades, we too will be subject to divine judgment. I refuse to partake in this rebellion." Despite these dire warnings, the rebellious faction advanced their treacherous plans. In the ensuing chaos, Regel was dispatched as an avenger, charged with the grim duty of punishing those who had forsaken their divine mission. Sariel took upon himself the responsibility of sealing away the corrupted spirits to prevent further defilement of the world, while Gabriel undertook the cleansing of earth from the malignant influence of the fallen angels. The wise cherub Ramal was entrusted with overseeing the eventual resurrection of the righteous, those who would be redeemed despite the sins of their ancestors. As the rebellious angels descended to claim mortal brides and assert themselves as sovereign rulers over humanity, the 7 holy watchers observed with heavy hearts. They witnessed the world transform under the corrupting influence of the nefilim, the monstrous offspring born from the union of fallen angels and human women. These giant beings, endowed with immense strength and unbridled cruelty, quickly dominated the earth. Under their influence, humanity gradually succumbed to the ways of warfare, vanity, and sin. Darkness spread unchecked, and the very fabric of creation became tainted by corruption. The renegade angels not only usurped their divine mandate, but also introduced forbidden arts to mankind. They taught humans to forge intricate weapons, adorn themselves with metals and precious stones, and even use sorcery to manipulate the forces of nature. In time, the Nephilim grew in number and ferocity, ravaging the earth and leaving devastation in their wake. The anguished cries of a suffering planet rose like a lamentation to the heavens, compelling the Almighty to act. At long last, the divine decree was issued. The faithful watchers, ever vigilant, received their sacred assignments. Uriel was sent to the righteous Noah to warn him of an impending deluge, a great flood destined to wash away the corruption that had overtaken the earth. Raphael was commanded to bind the defiant Azazel, casting him out into the barren desert and cloaking him in eternal darkness until the final day of reckoning. Although Azazel fought desperately, he was no match for Raphael's divine might. Meanwhile, Michael, the stalwart champion of heaven, led a formidable celestial army against Samael and his rebellious followers. In a swift and decisive confrontation, the forces of light overwhelmed the renegades, consigning them to the abyss. Thus, the fallen were bound by the inexorable hand of divine justice, and the purifying waters of the flood swept over the earth, cleansing it of its pervasive corruption. Though humanity had been deeply wounded by sin, they were granted a renewed opportunity to embrace righteousness. Even as the tumult subsided, the 7 holy watchers continued their eternal vigil. Gabriel was tasked with confronting the agents of ruin who had devastated mighty cities, while Ramal assumed the solemn responsibility of guiding those destined for resurrection at the end of days. The battle had been swift and terrible, but the decree of the Almighty was fulfilled. The rebellious watchers were bound, their ill-gotten dominion shattered, and the earth was purified through divine intervention. Yet, amid this judgment, the faithful harbored no joy. They mourned the loss of their once united brethren, a brotherhood that had once stood together in purity, united in their divine duty. Now, the fallen were irreversibly severed from their heavenly kin, with no hope of redemption or return. Undeterred by sorrow, the loyal watchers remained ever at their posts, their vigilance unbroken and their commitment to the will of the Almighty unwavering. To this day, they continue their sacred watch over creation. Among them stand Uriel, the steadfast guardian of Tartarus; Raphael, the compassionate healer of mankind; Regel, the relentless executor of divine justice; Michael, the courageous protector of the righteous; Sariel, the empathetic keeper of fallen spirits; Gabriel, the devoted custodian of paradise; and Ramal, the wise overseer of resurrection. Though many of their celestial brethren fell into the depths of darkness, these noble angels remained bathed in the eternal light of divine purpose. They neither wavered nor strayed, upholding their sacred charge with unwavering fidelity. And so, as the heavens continue to watch over the earth, all await the day when divine order will be fully restored and every element of creation will be set in its rightful place. Thank you for your support.